I can never do these introductions. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is a new monthly episode of the SPR Autos monthly vlog. I don't know why I say that every time, because the title of the video is a bit of a giveaway that is what this video is about. Anyway, what's been happening this month so far? I've been on holiday. I went away for a week, had a bit of family time, had a bit of relaxing time. Nice and hot, and it's actually freezing. I've come back here, I've got my hoodie on, body warmer on, because it's cold. What else has happened? Oh, thank you to everyone who bought a While You're In There t-shirt. We sold quite a few of them, so that was good news. However, it's now getting cold, so if you now want to buy an SPR hoodie, get yourself an SPR hoodie. What else has happened so far? Good news this month. Last month was full of bad news, so this month is good news. The yellow SLK has sold. A viewer has bought the SLK. That has been collected and is gone. Very, very nice chap. Travelled a very long way to come and get the car. He seemed really happy with it, and I'm glad it's actually gone to a really good home. He's going to get all the bodywork done, and yeah, he's going to enjoy that. It sounds like he's actually going to do some pretty decent miles in it, so that'll be good. I'm glad that's gone to somebody who really appreciates the efforts we put in with that. So now we can potentially look for some other project going on. Oh, we've got some fan mail. I've stopped opening the fan mail. I keep it until I'm filming, just to show some appreciation. Otherwise I end up opening it. I get too excited, open it, and then I forget to say thanks to whoever it was. So I've not actually opened this yet. So I'll open this on camera. It comes with a letter. Hi to Sam and the team. Thank you for all your videos on YouTube. Really enjoy them and appreciate your hard work you're doing to make them. Well, that is fully appreciated, because they take a lot of hard work to do. 30-minute video takes about 10 to 15 hours to edit. So yeah, thank you for that. Thought you might like this little gift for your office. Oh well, I'm in the right place. All the best from Neil in East Yorkshire. P.S. If you get chance, could you do a little chat about the battery coding, why and if it needs doing, and what happens if it's not done? I have a 2012 204 C180. As far as I'm aware, a battery does not need coding on a 2012 204 C-Class. However, on other Mercedes, slightly newer than that, they do need doing. The reasons for doing it is, it's like a smart charge battery system. This is the best way of describing it. And your alternator is charging your battery more and more and more as the battery wears out. So when you put your new battery on, that's at full capacity, your alternator could be overcharging it. When you code the new battery in, basically you're resetting the amp charge rate. So everything's reset and it works accordingly. That's the best way I can describe doing it. So if you don't do it, you could shorten the lifespan of your new battery. That could be this month's top tip. It's a good question, to be fair. It's something people do question. Let's see what's in the package. Oh yeah. It's like well, obviously it's a Mercedes sign. It's like cast iron. You would not want that throwing at you. Thanks very much, Neil, for that. That is definitely going to go on the wall. Could just go straight on there, can it? Straight on there. 2 screws, job done. That's actually really cool, isn't it? Thanks, Neil. So now we will see what's going on in the garage. We'll have a bit of a garage tour, show you what cars we've got in, what's going on, get a monthly vlog together. So I've just come downstairs. First job in the Shed of Doom in Nathan's Bay is a 129 SL. So what have you been doing on this, Nath?
I've done the driver's side tie rod already. It failed on MOT at this ball joint, and I'm in the middle of doing the passenger side tie rod.
But yeah, so Nathan's been servicing this car. It actually failed its MOT on a tie rod, but we've offered the customer to replace the pair just because they're really common for seizing. So when you come to track the car, it can be a nightmare doing the other side, and they're not that expensive. So we're doing a pair of them, and it's done a service. It's actually quite a nice 129 SL. I've had quite a few in recently. I'll take you underneath the car for a look round. It's all nice and dry, engine, gearbox, even the differentials, nice and dry. So for a 129 SL that's done over 100,000 miles, it's actually in really good condition. Yeah, that's the first one that's got going on. Let's see what's in the car park. We've got a 140 S-Class S320, which is actually Matt from High Peak Autos. He's just bought this budget 140 S-Class, which he's dropped off to have some work done, and we're actually going to do a video on that one ourselves. So I'm quite looking forward to this. This is my favourite S-Class, but it's actually in quite good condition. I say it's in good condition, it's got a lot of potential. We're going to make it in good condition. But yeah, really looking forward to that one. We've got a CLK 55 AMG. This car is in very, very good condition. We're actually doing a video on this one as well. So if you haven't seen a video on that, make sure you check that out. This car's been off the road for about 4 years, so we're just getting it ready to go back on the road. There's a bit of a story with this car as to why it's been off the road. Quite a sad story actually, but I'm really pleased to get it back on the road and get it back to the customer. So if you've not seen the video on that, make sure you check that out. Next to the CLK, we've got a 107 SL. That's just had a service. The wheel trims aren't missing, they've just been left off the car. It needs 2 front brake calipers. The front brakes are seized, so we need to get disc pads and calipers. Unfortunately, the front calipers being seized, it has ruined the brakes. What else have we got going on? Got a 230 SL. I'm gonna have a guess it's a 500. Yes, it is a 500. Very good customer of ours, this one. This is coming in for quite a few bits of preventative maintenance on this one. The work that this SL is having is not necessarily things that are wrong with the car. As the car's getting older, some of my customers like to have a chat about some preventative maintenance work that we can do to try and reduce the risk of breakdowns. You're never going to stop breakdowns, you're never going to stop things breaking. There's certainly a few things you can do to try and help. So that is that one. Going into the garage, John's looking at this E-Class with the 654 engine, and it's producing quite an unusual noise. So as you can hear by that noise, it sounds like the turbocharger's turned into a supercharger. It should not be making that noise. I've given away what's wrong with it there. The noise is coming from the supercharger. Now this car came in for this noise quite a long while ago. It was quite minor at the time, so we've had to let it develop a bit. The turbos for these from Mercedes are on factory back order. I think they're about £1,500-ish. And they're on factory back order, so we cannot get hold of one. We would like to fit a genuine turbo in this case, because there's not many good ones about. However, Paula has managed to locate and buy a Garrett turbo, hope I'm saying that correctly. They're probably one of the best turbo manufacturers, probably. They generally make them for the dealers anyway. You'll find most turbos that you remove off a car are Garrett turbos. Somebody might say I'm wrong, but generally speaking. However, the price of this was the same price as a genuine one. A genuine turbo you get 2 years warranty with, whereas we're only going to get 12 months with this one. Bit of a shame, but usually, you know, if you go to aftermarket, not only do you save a chunk of money, am I making sense? If it's, you'd want it to be a fair bit cheaper if you're getting half as much warranty, but it's the same price. So it is what it is though. It's either place your order for a genuine one and you have to wait. If that fault gets any worse, you're not really going to want to drive it just in case it fails completely. But yeah, we'll catch up with John a bit later on, see how he's getting on with that. Quite a big job. It's a water cooled turbo, so coolant's running through it. So we've got to drain the coolant, we're going to drain the oil and filter change with a brand new turbo, coolant change, because if the turbo's on factory back order, that to me would say they're quite common for failure. We've never replaced one. It's going to be a first for us, but I'm sure it won't be the last. Right, on the other ramp of the garage, we've got a C63, very, very common issue with the C63 front calipers, massive 6-pot caliper. So a lot of mechanics get the blame for breaking off a nipple in a caliper. It is a bit unfair because it is a 15, 16, 70-year-old car. If the car's not been kept up with its brake fluid changes, they have been stuck in there for a long time, and they put a steel nipple inside an aluminium caliper, so the two don't mix basically. And unfortunately in this case, all 4 nipples on the 2 front calipers broke off, so we had to send them away for nipple extraction and new nipples to be fitted. The customer has bought and supplied new titanium nipples, which are a lot stronger to try and prevent this happening. If you are an AMG owner with big Brembo brakes, the chances of brake nipples breaking off in the caliper are extremely high. There's only so much we can do to try and prevent it. It's very difficult, but yeah, it is what it is. But we've got them back, miles cheaper than new calipers, titanium nipples. Rock hard nipples.
Oh, behave.
Right, we're halfway through the 654 turbo job. John's got the turbo off, not claiming any credit for this job. So the turbo's off, so we can see now more of the problem. If inside the turbo, you can see all the gouges where the propeller goes round. But also, if we grab it, I can lift it. There's too much movement inside the turbo. Yeah, that turbo's damaged. Turbos do have a bit of play in the spindle, but that is excessive. To get the turbo off, it's just not that straightforward. As I explained, obviously it's got oil feed pipes. They're in a difficult position, water cooled as well. And to get it out, you've got to unbolt the whole catalytic converter and DPF system, but you cannot get that out. The DPF on this is huge. It is massive. It's looking like a full day's work, to be honest, especially once it's back in. We've got to do an oil change, coolant bleed. We're making good progress. This is our first turbo we've done on one of these as well. But it's just nice when you get the part off and you get good confirmation. We'll catch up when it's back on, make sure the noise is gone, and yeah, we'll go from there. Right, quick progress report on what's going on in the garage. John's making good progress with the 654 turbo job. That's not far off, getting some fluids in, getting it running. Reese has started some of the preventative maintenance work on the SL, which we said would go through, show you what we're doing on that and why we're doing it and how it's going to prevent some future issues. I'm having a look at this 170 SLK 230 compressor. We've got an engine management light on. Yeah, that's it. We've got an engine management light on. I'm just going to get some tissue. I've plugged the car into the diagnostics and we have a fault code for air mass sensor. Now, these 111 engines, 111 engines, I've not seen this for a long time. They were really common for air mass sensor issues because they got drowned in oil. So if you have a look in here, I've just took the air mass sensor off. There's oil pouring out of both ends. See it all coming out of there as well. We're getting an air mass sensor fault because it's covered in oil. Now, why is it covered in oil? Well, back in the day, this used to be a really common issue. You've got the intake manifold, which is here. Underneath the intake manifold, there's some breather pipes, and the pipe used to go to some jets. I say jets, it was like, yeah, I'm going to call it a jet. And they used to block up, and when they blocked up, that enabled the oil to come through the system. It's through the whole supercharging system. To stop this happening, we're going to have to take all the intercooler pipes off, the intercooler off the car, wash it all out of all the fluid. We're going to have to take the intake manifold off, clean those blocked jets which are causing the problem so the oil doesn't come back, and that's it. Hopefully we can save this original air mass sensor. But yeah, that is the problem. If I clean it and put it back on, it's just going to be putting a plaster on an open wound. It's not going to fix it. It's going to come back. Like I say, you can see the evidence there. All the oil, loads of it in there. But yeah, I've not seen that fault for a long while because these cars are getting older now. A lot of them got done many years ago, but this one not to be. So even though these cars are getting older, they now come back round, they're heading towards being a classic car, and they're getting more popular again, which is nice to see. So I'm going to put this back together for now, get a quote together and see what they want to do. First preventative maintenance job we're doing on this SL is the crankshaft sensor. This engine, the M113 engine, is notoriously known for this being a common item to fail. So this customer's having it replaced, obviously, for a brand new one. It's a really good thing to do on these engines. M112s and M113s, same engine, V6, V8 and the 55 AMGs, it's all the same sensor. Typical symptom of this sensor failing is when the car gets up to full operating temperature, it might stall and it will not restart. It will just crank and crank and crank over, won't start. As soon as the engine temperature cools down, the engine will then start. It picks up a signal off the teeth, off the flywheel. And that's the old one. We're going to fit a Bosch one. The genuine sensors you get from Mercedes are Bosch. So that is a good one to do. I think other things he's having done is the alternator regulator. We're going to take the alternator out of the car, which is down here. Take that out. Take the voltage regulator out of the inside of it, put a new one in, another good one. In fact, I did that on my E63 last service as a preventative. It's just a good way of making sure your alternator's working it the best it can be and you're getting as much life out of it as you can. So two quite common areas to cause a breakdown there, which is having done. But yeah, they're good preventative maintenance items to do, especially on this engine. So I'm going to get on with that. Right, John's got all the turbo back together, fresh oil, filter, coolant, primed the new turbo. So this is its first start up, so hopefully the noise is gone. Right, we'll just let that idle for a bit, let all the fresh oil get around the turbo, bleed the coolant up, we won't rev it yet, and then we'll confirm whether the noise has gone, which the noise will have gone, hopefully, definitely. Shall I give it a small rev? Yeah, I'm happy to confirm the noise is gone, just getting it up to temperature nice and slow, but yeah, that's this one done. We've got loads of tests left to do, get it on the diagnostics machine, just analyse a few things, loads of road tests, check engine oil, check coolant. I have a feeling turbos are going to be quite a common issue on the 642s. Not looking good for this engine. We've done a video previously talking about the camshaft wear and bearing tappet issues that they're having, turbo issues. Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to be a great engine, this, guys. Or is that just me being a diesel hater? We'll wrap this one up and see what else is going on. The car park's looking a bit bare at the moment, but you couldn't move for cars about an hour ago. Just had loads of people come and collect, which is good. I actually missed a bit of an update with this one, but we have done the alternator. We took the alternator off, replaced the voltage regulator. I'm just having a look to see if it is around so I can show you. Yeah, he started nicking my trolley a lot, hasn't he? Everyone likes my little trolley, but then when I want to use it, I can't use it. Because it's my trolley and all these tools are on it, does it mean like these tools are now mine? We'll come back to that, but the voltage regulator is done. I wanted to see how far down worn it was and was it worth doing. Mileage is 75,000 miles. Let's see if we can find it. Apologies if I look tired, I've just gone really tired. I'm still not well at the moment, but There we go. Anyway, there is the voltage regulator. Get a close-up of that. So these are the brushes that eventually wear out. As you can see, I don't want to say there's plenty of life left. They're probably half worn. It's a good part to replace on an older car, but if you're planning on keeping a car long term, it's not a bad item to replace that. I think we've replaced many of those on the channel anyway. Probably a good thing we didn't go in too much depth, because you might be getting bored of that. SPR Auto's the voltage regulator specialist. But I think that is pretty much the update for now. The turbo job's done. We've done multiple road tests, checking fluid levels and stuff. That is ready to go. C63, calipers are all back on. The whole system is built back up. That is also ready for collection. And we've got a semi-quietish day tomorrow for a good reason. We want to get rid of more jobs. This week's looking pretty positive. Everything that's come in is leaving, which is a good start. Spoke about the CLK 55. That is all done. Really looking forward to starting the black S320. That is my mum's car. That is not my car, despite the registration plate. I think she should donate that reg plate to me. It would be a good one, wouldn't it? And we're slowly gathering up parts for the white SL. So we'll try and get that on this monthly vlog as well. We're just waiting for it all to arrive and attack it in one go. But other than that, I think I need to go and get some sleep. Fresh Friday morning. Trying to force myself to be more productive. Right, fresh Friday morning. Got a couple of reasonably sized jobs on today. We've got the, is it an E-Class? 205 C-Class. Don't they all look the same?
Eyebrows and the headlights.
Yeah, but they look very similar. 205 C-Class. We have got a droning noise when driving. The rear wheel bearing is noisy. Oh. Hopefully you can hear that. The wheel bearing from Mercedes is on factory back order, so we're having to go aftermarket on this occasion. I think we've gone for a Febby bearing. So that's a bit of a strip down to get the full hub bearing assembly off. On the other ramp we've got SLK 55 AMG. Very common issue on this one is the back plates that hold the handbrake shoes together. They rust really badly, and the retaining springs that hold the shoes to the backplate rot through, and it causes all sorts of horrible noises from the brakes. We actually have done a temporary repair on this to stop the noise whilst we've got the plates in. We've now got the plates in. So 2 back plates, 1 per side, very heavily stickered. 3 stickers, 3 part numbers on. If they picked that wrong, it's nearly impossible. Now, back plates on SLKs, as I've already explained, very common. Usually they're about 30 to 40 pounds. Bit of a bargain if you ask me, for a Mercedes piece of metal. That's what it is, isn't it? Pressed out piece of metal. However, on the 55 AMG model, they have added AMG tax to it.
I'm ready for me money.
This is 180 pounds for that, when a standard one is 30 or 40. I thought, what's the difference? They've got to be the same. So I put the part number into Google, eBay, and it brought up the standard SLK ones with this part number. I took a bit of a gamble and ordered non-genuine ones to save 150 quid, and they are different, so you can't even get away with fitting the non-AMG version. But how you go from £30 to 180, I do not know. But yeah, £180 each. Come around this side, I can show you what we're actually doing. There's your back plate. This one's actually not too bad condition, but it's on its way. So basically, there's 2 ways of fitting this. There's the right way and the wrong way. The right way, you have to remove the hub, press out this flange, and you have to replace the wheel bearing, because pressing out the flange damaged the wheel bearing basically. So it's either a big job or a semi-big job. Or what you can do is, which we're going to do, we've asked the customer what would he like to do. We're going to cut the back plate in 2 pieces. So we've got 2 fixing screws there, and we've got 2 there, so we can put 2 halves on and bolt it on. Now all this back plate does is it's a dust cover, and it holds the handbrake shoes in that hole there and that hole there, and that is it. So we're actually going to do it the wrong way. Just for example, to fit these 2 the wrong way, about 4 hours labour. To do it the right way, you're probably looking at a full day's labour, roughly about 8 hours, plus the additional cost of 2 wheel bearings. So there's about a £600 difference in doing it one way or the other. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame really that you have to do that. It'd be nice if Mercedes just supplied them in 2 sections. Be a lot easier. So I've just free-handed where I'm going to cut it. Just making my life easy. So I'm going through where there's the least amount of metal to less cutting time, and it'll just be neater. So I'm going to go straight through there, and then you can see we've got 1 fixing hole there, 1 there. Because I've seen people do it before, and they've just gone wherever they feel like it, and then they've ended up with 3 fixing holes on one half and 1 on the other, whereas you want 2 and 2. Let's get that cut. You ready for me? So I use an air saw. I see too many people use a cutting disc, and when you cut, you're losing too much material. So when you end up butting them back together, you have a big gap down the middle. The hardest bit is starting it.
A few moments later.
Ooh. Right. So there's my 2 halves. So we're going to wrap that around the hub / bearing, bolt it in, probably put a couple of little tacks of weld on it as well, just to stop any vibration. I don't know if this is actually this side or not.
That's the other side.
Oh, is it? So I can't even demonstrate. I'll cut the other one then. The old back plate, obviously you've also got to cut off. So now that back plate's off, you can see what we would have had to deal with. So we would have had to have unbolted all these arms. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms to remove. Take that hub assembly off, press that flange out, press the bearing out, press the new bearing in, flange back in. But yeah, that's a good way of just seeing what we're not having to remove doing it this way. So that goes there, and that is going to go on there. So there you go. So that's how it's going to sit with that nut coming through there. So once that's bolted up, as you can see, you know, we're going to have a minimal gap. So we'll probably put a couple of tacks of weld on there to just hold it in position so the 2 pieces of metal aren't rubbing. But yeah, that is the cheapest, most efficient way of doing this job. Let us know what you think about that in the comments. Do you think that's just complete and utter bodgery or not? It is really common in the Mercedes-Benz world to do it this way, but we always offer the option of what do you want to do. So we'll get this back on. Reese is happy with that. Right, so the back plate is obviously on, fitted, nice and secure. Put a couple of tacks down there. Yeah, just to stop that moving. So that's that done, nice and secure. Not going anywhere. Just put a couple of tacks all the way down there. Probably just sand that down a bit, neaten it up, recover it in paint. But I mean, once the disc's on, you won't see that anyway. Yeah, you won't see that at all, in fact, because the disc is all the way around. The disc isn't going to interfere with that weld at all. But yeah, bit of paint front and back. Yeah. SPR Auto's Bodge of the month. We just stopped for dinner and a young fan came. His dad has brought him over from Cork in Ireland, and for his birthday he wanted to visit myself and High Peak and a few other places that Matt goes to actually, and he's just been in. So shout out to young David, who's just been in, visited us all the way from Cork for a picture and a quick tour of SPR. 7 years old, and he watches the channel. Happy birthday, David. Right, back in the workshop. A few days later, we've now gathered up all the parts we need for the 107 SL, which John is getting on with. Front calipers, front discs and pads. The front calipers are seized, just to jog everyone's memory, and knackered the discs and pads basically. We've struggled to get all the parts together for this. We've had to source them from different places. We've got front calipers from the SL shop. We've got front discs from Mercedes. Strangely, Mercedes only had one disc in the UK available. So we ordered the one disc and then we had to wait for the second disc to come from Germany, which is very frustrating. Front pads were no longer available, so we had to order a set of pads from Brembo. It's also had front brake flexi hoses as well. Highly recommend that as while you're in there every time you replace a caliper, for a couple of reasons. Why not? It's not really any extra labour. It's a good while you're in there. You have to undo it to get the caliper off. Just change the hoses. So that is that. One side is already done. We are on the opposite side. Now these old SLs, old 123s, had a very unusual setup for the front discs. So the front discs were bolted to the inside of the hubs. So you had to take the whole hub off. As you can see there, we've took the whole hub off to get to the bolts at the back of the disc to unbolt it. So John's just preparing the hub to put the new disc on top and bolt the disc back on, and then it can go back on the spindle. So yeah, a bit of an unusual setup these, but this is how it was back in the day. I remember doing this all the time during my apprenticeship years. I've not done a set of these discs for a very, very long time. But yeah, getting this one done now, get it all back together. It'd be good to get rid of it because we've had it quite a few days. But this is what happens with these old ones when you're shopping around for parts. But failing that, we'll have a look what else is going on around the workshop. Right, quick one out into the car park. We've actually got, I don't know if anyone remembers, our old cheap C-Class budget project we did. I think we put a gearbox in it. That has come back. We're going to get that in. It's got a coolant leak. It'll be interesting to see how many miles that's done, because the lad that bought it actually does do a fair bit of miles, and it had done a lot of miles when we sold it. We've also got S320 V6 diesel with a 642 engine. This is actually an old high peak car, which we did a video on, fixing it up. We actually saved it pretty much. It was looking very sorry for itself in a car park somewhere. I can't remember exactly.
So I've got one very sad looking S-Class. Would you like to see it? Come on then. Here it is. Look at the state of that. Because it's been sat sitting for some time now, the air suspension's dropped, so it looks like a lowrider. It's full of leaves and dirt, and it just looks very sorry for itself, doesn't it? I hate leaving cars to rot like this, but I really don't know what to do with it. It's going to take an awful lot of time and money. What would you do?
But yeah, Matt brought it to us. We got that back on the road. That has got a limp mode issue, but we're going to take you out for a test drive in that so I can demonstrate the fault, because it'll be super handy for 642 owners. I'm getting absolutely soaked, to experience that with me in case you ever have this problem with your car, and I'll show you what the remedy is for that. I'm going to run away, get out of the rain in a minute. Sorry, I feel like I ended that a bit abruptly. The heavens opened and I had to make a run for it. The car is developed an issue where it is going into limp mode. We are losing power, but it's quite a common fault this on the V6 diesel engine, OM642. So I thought I'd take you out with me to demonstrate. Nathan is holding the camera, and we're picking up parts from Mercedes at the same time. So basically the fault is, if I accelerate, that was the fault. I call it the kangarooing effect. You're putting your foot down, the turbo's about to engage, and it goes like that. Now, I have had a look at this job before talking to you now, so I'm going to show you what's causing the kangarooing, and why, and we're replacing the full turbo. When we change the turbos on these V6 diesels, we also replace the inlet motor at the same time. There's another good reason for that. Again, very common fault, can also cause limp mode, and there's not really any extra labour to replace the inlet motor when you're doing the turbo. You're already there, the hard bit's done, the turbo coming off is done, then you've got the motor, you may as well change it. You've got a brand new turbo, brand new inlet motor. It's a really good value in there, which we'll show you once we've got it off. We're gonna get on the motorway now, we'll go into Mercedes and I'll try and do a few more demonstrations. So that's another thing worth mentioning. I've just tried to demonstrate it again, it's not done it. It's predominantly from cold, and I've always found that over the years as well, that the worst of the kangarooing is when the engine's cold. But just cruising at 1500 RPM at 50 mile an hour, just slightly on the accelerator, I can feel it surging. Yeah, we'll get this one back to the garage, have a look at the white C-Class, our old budget white C-Class, see what's going on there. It's getting towards the end of the day and we'll have an update shortly. Right, new day at the garage. Where was we up to? We was up to old budget C-Class, high mileage budget C-Class, coolant leak. I had to leave earlier yesterday, so I left Nathan to it. He's told me he's found the problem, so we'll go and see what's happening. Hold the microphone.
I'm holding my microphone.
So what have you found, mate?
I found that, well, very common problem on the 651 engine, fuel filter housing. All of the plastic pipes have failed, well, all the plastic joins have failed, all the plastic's become mush.
That's a big microphone, that.
Very nice microphone. All 3 pipe connections have failed. You even got plastic inside of the coolant system. We're gonna have to clean it all out, clean out all the pipes, take out all the plastic and build it back up.
So as is explained, really common issue on the 651 engine, fuel filter housing, which doubles up as a coolant pipe. The seals failed, where the pipes connect to the pipe have all turned to mush essentially and failed, and a lot of it is stuck in the rubber pipes. So nice simple fix, to be honest. It's done well, this. What's the mileage on it? Yeah, 211,000 miles, so it's doing well, this car, to be honest. This could, dare I say, it's its first one at this kind of mileage. It wouldn't be surprised if it's its second one. We'll get this one back together and see what else we've got going on. We're getting towards the end of the month now. We need to catch up on the S-Class, which me and Nathan were demonstrating yesterday. We're waiting for a turbo to be delivered on that. Yeah, catch up with Nathan shortly. Put my seatbelt on. Seatbelt police don't get me. Seeing as though this car's a bit of a blast from the past, I thought you'd take you on a small road trip with us. Just nearly had a head-on collision with a delivery van. That bloke's looking at us thinking, why is he filming himself? Yeah, so this car is now on 211,000 miles. It came in for a service not long ago, but I didn't manage to get any clips of it. Had a service, front discs and pads, and unfortunately a few months later it's come back for a coolant leak. But it's to be expected at half this kind of miles. But it's actually a friend that bought this off me, and he does do a lot of miles himself. So I'm hoping he keeps the car as long as possible. It would be good to see how much mileage this car will cover, but honestly, if you covered up that mileage, you'd never guess. You'd probably guess 100-ish. But yeah, it's definitely not in as nice a condition as it left, Andrew. I would like a valet taken out on this, but other than that, I have to say it's driving really well. So that's the coolant leak done. Very, very common item to fail on the 651 engine. You've probably heard me say that many a times in many of other videos, but it gives everyone a good insight, especially to the new viewers. I remember when we finished this car thinking, if I needed a car, I wouldn't say no to this myself. It's got everything you need. It's even got a pan roof. Right, last job to do before the end of the monthly is S-Class. We went out, me and Nathan went out to try and demonstrate the kangarooing jerking effect when you accelerate. Just going to show you a couple of things before we get the turbo off. First thing is, if you have a look down here, there's quite a lot of black soot.
Yeah.
What's causing the kangarooing is this component here, which is the turbo actuator. They can be bought separate off eBay and places like that, which if you wanted to take a gamble at a cheap fix, I suppose that's okay. We like to replace the full turbo. We've got a reconditioned turbo. It's not a genuine turbo, so we're saving a fortune to begin with. I think it's about £700–800 for a good quality reconditioned one. A genuine one is about £2,000. But like I was just explaining, the reason we are replacing the full turbo, especially on this one, is because you can see all that black soot around there. Boost pressure is actually leaking out from where that linkage goes through the turbo, which is why there's so much soot around there. It's losing boost pressure. So that'll just give you a good idea of how much boost is leaking out of there. Yeah, look at that now. And that's just on idle, whereas when we're actually driving and accelerating, turn the car off. So you can see all those bubbles with the engine just on idle. When we're actually accelerating, we can hear the boost leaking, and that's where it is leaking from. Actuator is causing the massive jerking, kangarooing, and we've also got a boost leak coming from the mechanical side of the turbo. So we'll get the turbo off and we'll jump back in when Nathan's got the turbo off, and we can show you why we changed the inlet motor at the same time and go from there. I should be filming you. You've done it, haven't you? Taking credit again. Right, so Nathan has removed the turbo. So what we was going to show you was why we changed the inlet motor at the same time. Well, if you come over here, the turbo is situated there. That has now gone. That is on the floor, the old one out. And the inlet motor sits in here, which is already removed. So as you can see, once that turbo is out, it gains loads more room. So I'd highly recommend to anyone, if you're changing the turbo on this particular V6 engine, replace the inlet motor.
Turbo's behind it.
This is our new turbo. There we go. Reconditioned turbo, all nice and shiny. New actuator, no damage anywhere. Good. Have a little feel for play. Good stuff. So yeah, get this all back together, demonstrate that the fault has gone, and then we will move on to, what do we call it?
End of monthly vlog.
End of monthly vlog, wind down / competition. I need to decide what we're going to do about competition for this month. Right, Nathan's got the S-Class turbo job all back together. We've unplugged the glow plug system so we can give the engine a good few cranks to get our nice fresh oil around our new turbo. It's had an oil and filter change as well. Good couple of cranks, get nice all fresh fluid out, and then we'll go for the proper start up road test, make sure the complaint has gone. Good job done. They are nice, these 221 S-Classes. Much prefer it over a 220 S-Class. I didn't really rate the 220 S-Class at all. However, the 140 S-Class was the king. Yeah. Lovely, very smooth. How much better was that? Obviously that's a quick demonstration, but as you can see, the jerkiness has gone. Very smooth, very smooth. Back to doing what S-classes should do. Smooth delivery of power, no jerkiness, nice and comfortable. But yeah, back to the garage. We will meet up in my new office where we're going to announce our giveaway and get this video to an end. As regular viewers will know, we try and do a monthly competition that we announce at the end of each of our monthly vlogs, just as a way of giving back to all the loyal supporters that we've had for coming up to nearly 2 years now since we've relaunched the channel. Going to do a bit of a merch giveaway this month. We'll do a bit of a package. Mercedes clock, Mercedes hat, a SPR beanie hat, and we'll do an SPR hoodie because winter's coming. Clock, cap, hat and hoodie, so a bit of a package there. So that will be this month's giveaway, so make sure you click the link in the description below. So I think that concludes the end of this month's vlog. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell button. I always say it's when you're editing, you'd like delete. Done it again. Yeah, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.